Once upon a time, in the storms-routed kingdom of Eldros, Princess Elysia grew up surrounded by whispers of forbidden lore. While her siblings reveled in courtly dances and golden feasts, Elysia spent her days poring over tattered scrolls in the castle library. Her favorite tales spoke of the Star Lantern of Dreams, an ancient relic said to grant mastery over dreams and desires, but at an unspeakable cost. The lantern was no mere artifact. Legends told that it had been forged in the heart of a collapsing star, tethering it to the boundaries of the dream realm. Those who sought it were drawn into their own worst nightmares, their souls never to return. Yet, the tales promised its light could bend reality, awaken forgotten memories, and even cheat death. For someone like Elysia haunted by the mysterious death of her mother, it was irresistible. On a night when lightning cracked the sky and thunder rattled the castle walls, a wandering bard arrived at Eldros. His face was veiled, his voice a low, hypnotic hum that seemed to echo inside her skull. He sang of the Star Lantern's resting place, a ruined monastery hidden in the Wailing Gorge, where the winds howled like lost souls. As the bard played, his lute strings snapped one by one, leaving an eerie silence. He left without another word, and no one in the castle saw him leave. Elysia, however, felt the song coil around her mind like a serpent. Ignoring the pleas of her court magician, she saddled her black mare and rode into the storm. Each mile into the gorge felt heavier, as if the air itself resisted her journey. Shadows flickered at the edges of her vision, figures that disappeared when she turned her head. When she arrived at the ruined monastery, its walls were cloaked in moss and rot, but the carvings were unnervingly fresh. Faces etched into the stone walls twisted in expressions of terror, their mouths open as if mid-scream. The air hung heavy with a metallic temps, and faint whispers brushed against her ears. Yet Elysia pressed on, her lantern casting long, quivering shadows. Deep in the heart of the monastery, she found it. The Star Lantern hung suspended in the air, its crystalline surface shimmering like liquid light. Inside, countless tiny stars swirled in intricate patterns, shifting between beauty and chaos. As her fingers closed around it, a searing cold shot through her veins, and the ground beneath her crumbled. She fell not into darkness, but into a realm of swirling skies, where the stars blinked like watchful eyes. The ground beneath her feet was made of fragmented mirrors, each reflecting a different version of herself. Some were young and laughing, others were aged and screaming. As she walked, the reflections grew more grotesque. One Elysia had blackened, hollow sockets for eyes, and another dissolved into a swarm of spiders. The dream realm was alive, its very fabric, writhing like a living organism. The stars above shifted constantly, forming constellations that twisted into shapes both beautiful and monstrous. Elysia realized with dread that the realm was feeding on her thoughts, pulling her memories and fears into its design. Ahead, the crooked path led to a massive skeletal tree. Its branches stretched into the void, each adorned with lanterns like her own, their light flickering weakly. The tree's bark was carved with ancient runes, pulsing faintly as if alive. From its roots oozed a black, viscous liquid that dripped endlessly into the chasm below. Beneath the tree stood the Keeper. The Keeper was not wholly human. Her form was wrapped in shadow that bled into the air, her face pale and gaunt, with hollow sockets where her eyes should have been. Yet Elysia felt the weight of her gaze, as if the Keeper could see straight into her soul. "You've come to claim the lantern," the Keeper said, her voice layered with countless others, echoing in tones of sorrow and malice. "Do you know what you ask?" Elysia raised her chin. "I seek its power to uncover the truth about my mother, and about the nightmares that plague my kingdom." The Keeper smiled, revealing a mouth full of teeth like splintered glass. "All truths come with a price. The lantern does not grant dreams, it consumes them. If you take it, you will master dreams, but you will become a slave to them, forever bound to this place." The Keeper offered Elysia a choice. She could leave the lantern and return to the waking world, but at the cost of her mind. Nightmares would hound her every moment until she lost all grip on reality. Or she could take the lantern's power, but doing so meant becoming the new keeper, eternally tethered to the dream realm, harvesting the hopes and fears of dreamers. Elysia hesitated. She thought of her kingdom, of her people, who whispered of her as the strange princess, and of her mother, whose death had left a void that no earthly answer could fill. Then she thought of the keeper, of what it meant to spend eternity as a warden of nightmares. "I will not choose between torment and slavery," she said. "If the lantern is power, I will wield it my way." Elysia hurled the lantern at the skeletal tree. It shattered in an explosion of light and sound, the fragments scattering like shards of a broken star. The realm trembled, the skies fracturing into spirals of chaos. The keeper screamed, her form unraveling as the lantern's power consumed her. The other lanterns on the tree burst, releasing a cascade of starlight that dissolved into the void. But as the realm crumbled, Elysia felt her body change. Her skin turned translucent, her veins glowing with an otherworldly light. She looked at her hands and saw starlight swirling within them. In destroying the lantern, she had shattered the keeper's curse, but had taken its place. Elysia now roams the fractured dream realm, her form neither wholly human nor entirely light. She carries a fragment of the lantern, its glow a faint echo of its former power. She whispers warnings to dreamers who dare venture too deeply into their own minds, trying to protect them from the horrors she could not escape. But even as she guards the boundary between dreams and reality, she feels the realm pulling at her mind, tempting her to let go of what remains of herself. And somewhere, in the endless void, the whispers of the old keeper remain, promising that her struggle will never truly end. Thanks for watching, and subscribe my channel.